Many children in our state face food insecurity. Sometimes the majority of meals they get are when they are in school. That means on weekends or school breaks. Most of these kids go hungry. Backpack Brigade is a local nonprofit just down the street from us in Soto, and they help fill that gap of food insecurity. Volunteers put together nutritiously balanced meals for roughly 3,500 children a week. Nichelle Hilton, founder of the Backpack Brigade, is here with us now to tell us how she does it. And honestly, can I just hug you right now?
Yes.
For what you do in feeding these kids, especially during the pandemic when children weren't in schools. That was a real problem, but you still worked in to make sure. So let's talk about what we have in front of us right now.
Yes, so we have our 6 menus that we created to help represent the dietary, religious, and cultural needs of all the students we're serving. We have our standard bag.
Okay.
We have a kosher halal. We have a vegan, gluten-free, Hispanic Latinx, and our Asian American on the end.
So you are really taking into account not just saying, here's a bag of food, this is what you get, about what it means to be a person getting this food and how important that is.
Yes, exactly. It started about 1.5 years ago when we started talking to some of our family support workers, which is our contacts at the schools, and saying, you know, some of the kids can't eat that because they're gluten, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So we did a survey and said, well, what menus would you like? What is out there? And this is what we came up with. And we thought if a school was getting like 100 bags, well, their new choice would have 6 menus. So they'd still get 100 bags, but maybe 10 of this and 20 of that. That is not how it worked. That school who had 100 ordered 150. So we added within a month 450 students. Now one side is how awesome is that we reached these kids that weren't able to eat the food before, and the other side was how sad it took us long to get it going.
Yeah, that's I see what you're saying. So that's how you picked what goes into each of these meals, is by that survey?
We talked to the family support workers, we got recommendations, and we have a wonderful nutritionist on our board that then takes into account all the calorie and nutritious needs for that age.
And you can't do this, obviously, without volunteers, right? I mean, this seems like a huge undertaking, especially during the pandemic when you were feeding, so many children.
Yes.
And not just on the weekends or you were feeding every day.
We were taking 4,000 bags to the different meal sites, and it was so that all 40 meal sites could have 100 bags at any one time for the children coming every day.
And we're looking at some of the work that the volunteers are now doing on a daily basis, this is a huge production.
Yes, we have packing shifts from 8 to 11 every day.
Okay.
We have 20 volunteers every day. We have preppers that are getting the racks ready for the packers for that menu.
Okay.
The packers are taking those racks and packing bags. And you're seeing here drivers. Those are our drivers that are taking it to the schools directly to the front office. So there's no barriers for the kids getting this food. They're all volunteers, over 150 a week.
I have a minivan I could drive for you.
I want it.
Okay.
Minivans are my dream.
You can fit everything in there.
Well, we put out close to 450 crates a week. It's 3,500 children that we're serving every week. 4 school districts in King County, 85 schools, many different menus, many different kids, and we have a lot more work to do.
I want to ask you how this is distributed into the schools, but I want to ask you first, how do you get this food? Do you go out and buy? I want to see the grocery cart. What happens? How do you get the food into the facility?
We have moved far beyond grocery cart. We are in bulk buy with 8 different distributors all around the U.S. We do get a good portion of it from Costco, but distributors, we are always chasing the best price. And in fact, because we are purchasing at such a large rate and getting such a great discount, we have then in turn offered it to other agencies doing this work so that they can save money. We don't charge an admin fee. If you, as a person, walked into Costco and bought applesauce, you're probably saying about 60 cents for one of these. If you're now doing business Costco, you're probably sending only 40 cents for these if you buy it.
Good.
We're getting it for like 30 cents because we're buying pallet after pallet. So if you have a program that doesn't have a lot, you can't buy that much food, so you can get it from us for that 30 cents, and your money can go further to feed more kids, and that's what we all want.
My goodness, I love how you've developed all of this just in the hopes of making sure that this can be successful and you can feed more children. How many schools do you deliver to and children overall?
85 schools, 4 school districts, 3,500 children a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is impressive work. How did you start Backpack Brigade? I mean, you know, it seems like something, okay, we're going to provide these meals, but even after everything you've just talked about, distribution, buying in bulk, you had to have a lot of knowledge base.
I started at zero.
Okay.
I was running a food bank, and for training, we went to these conferences, and I went to a breakout session and saw this documentary called A Place at the Table. And it followed several families that were on food stamps, and one family was in a food desert, and they talked to a child who had no access to food over the weekend, and they said, how hard is it to pay attention in class? And she said it was really hard when she pictured her teacher as a banana.
Oh! Oh my
and
God.
so here I am 10 years later, still quoting that. And Jeff Bridges was the narrator, and he said if we allowed what our children go through in any other country, we'd go to war.
We'd go to war.
And that is still a quote. So those two things, I ran back to the food bank. I'm like, oh my God, is this real?
And let's
just dove into it, went next door. There was one school. I said, is this a thing? Absolutely. How many kids? What can I do? I got food at the food bank. And she said there's 8 kids that face weekend hunger, which means some of the McKinney-Vento children that are identified as homeless with the definition of inadequate nighttime residence, or those on the free and reduced lunch.
Okay.
Sometimes they're only eating at school for the free and reduced lunch. So Monday lunch, Monday lunch to Monday, oh my gosh.
Friday lunch
Friday
to
lunch to
Monday
Monday breakfast
yes.
is a long time for a little kid's belly with a big brow.
I'm hugging you again for all of this because you literally nearly made me cry. No child should ever go hungry. All right. If you are interested in donating or giving time to Backpack Brigade, just go to backpackbrigade.org.
.org.
Thank you.